And everything turned out the way it did, which ended up, it was unfortunate that she basically lied to the cops, or had him lie to the cops. Stuff like that isn't ideal, but that doesn't mean that it just destroys the fact that their relationship was messy. And they're found I'm sorry, because I can't even say relationship because we didn't even get to that point yet. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about right now was based on the foundation of their relationship. So we haven't even got into the details of what actually occurred in their relationship, because they're different. But yeah, they're different. So yeah. But all I'm trying to like the point that I'm trying to make is that in that specific context, I think that was just pure mess, because Layla wanted the roles reversed. Layla wanted Spencer. Spencer wanted Olivia. Before, it was Olivia wanted Spencer. Spencer wanted Layla. So it was like a love triangle in a way. But that's why I said you can't just exclude Layla as if she hasn't played a part in this too. Because you saying Spencer and Olivia were toxic, but the background of this was had to do with her too. Like she was playing middleman in all of this too. Like she had a part that she played. So that's why I'm saying, like, that whole thing, with um Olivia, basically rejecting Spencer and stuff like that. Like, that whole thing, I think that was just, messy. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to fix this. Spencer hands Olivia the necklace that they got at the store. Cause I'm gonna watch the scene, and then we'll continue from there. The psycho was right about one thing. He needed clarity. But why is my internet moving so slow? And he got his clarity. And he gave her the necklace. They kiss. They both share a kiss. It's not like they kiss for a second and Olivia falls back or anything like that. They share an intimate kiss, look at each other, and it gets more intimate. They part ways. They part ways. Spencer says he loves her. He's not sure when it happened. Also, for the record, I just thought about this because it just was said in the scene. Where on earth is there toxicity when the guy literally took a bullet for her and almost lost the opportunity to play the sport that he loves for the rest of his life? Because I think that's a necessary point to make as well. Where is the toxicity at there when he literally jumped in front of a bullet for her? Like in the Bruno Mars song when he said I'll catch a grenade for you, like that's kind of like the same thing, when you think about it. But that's neither here nor there. I just figured I'd throw that out there. Watching movies with him all summer. He said he didn't know when he really felt in love with her, but he he didn't know when he really felt in love with her, but he knows now that he got the clarity that he needed and that he loved her. That's when he finally came to his senses and expressed that he had love for Olivia. And she said we can't because she was with Asher. And even with that, that's she just cheated on Asher. He said there's a reason that they're here together. She doesn't say anything back, and she just leaves. She just says, "I'm sorry," and leaves. And then 5 minutes later, Layla comes in, and I think he texts her or calls her, and she doesn't respond or blocks him or something like that. Yeah, he calls her and she rejects. She declines the call. So yeah, that kind of goes into the point that I was trying to make, that there was a lot more damage that was done because Olivia was the one that was actually in a relationship with Asher when she made out with Spencer. She flew all the way to Vegas from LA to be with Spencer. They end up making out, and Spencer expresses that he loves Olivia. He doesn't know exactly when it was that it happened or when it came about, but he knew that he loved her, and that he was sure of that. So I think that was like Spencer coming around to his senses about how he really feels, and by expressing to Olivia that he loved her. Yo, what's up? So yeah. Nevertheless, I personally think that I personally think that it's not it wasn't toxic. I think if anything it was harmful, or if even if you were to make the argument that it was toxic, that it was more so toxic for her relationship she had with Asher because she cheated on him, knowing that she was in a relationship with Asher, saying that, I'm with Asher, and she had every chance to pull away and didn't. So yeah, I don't know. Uh, I personally feel like, you know, she knew what she was doing, and their timing was just bad, and that they couldn't make anything happen in that moment. But they knew that they had love for each other. And when Spencer finally came around to his senses, it was too late because she was already in a relationship and Layla had her eyes on him. And yeah, that's about it. You know. All right, what's good, chat? Welcome back to another stream. I think she fell asleep mid debate. I think. I could be wrong, but I think she did. It's been real quiet for like 5 to 7 minutes. That's tough. So the next morning, Spencer wakes up to Olivia in his room. She wakes him up by opening the blinds, and they basically spend the day together. They went to go see a psychic who said that Spencer needed clarity, basically, or he was looking for clarity, and they had bought a necklace or something. So the scene opens. Olivia's packing her bag. Um, she seems to be upset about something. Spencer walks in, and basically they exchange words or whatever. The scene switches to a character named Coop and Layla, which is the girl that Spencer ends up getting back together with on this same trip. So Layla's very hesitant and nervous about Spencer, or she has Spencer on her mind, and she's thinking about him. because basically they ended up breaking up due to Layla being in a bad headspace and Layla uh just needing to get the proper help that she needed. She was having a lot of hard she was having a hard time with like depression. It was like major depression. And she needed to get in a better headspace before she could be in a relationship. So she was procrastinating and ended up she was nervous about it. Coop tells her, go get your man, basically. Right? So the scene switches back to them two. And he was like, she was like, it was a mistake coming here. And he was like, I wanted you here. And then he pulls out the necklace that they bought at the psychic store earlier that day. He pulls it out, gives it to her. She says, Spencer. She like in like a very like faint voice. And yeah, she basically says he basically says, I needed clarity and I found the clarity that I needed. And then they make eye contact and they make out twice actually, because they make out, they stop, look at each other, and then make out some more, right? So then afterwards, he looks at her again. He says, I love you. He's not sure when it was, whether it was their time, when they first met, whether it was after he saved her life, because earlier in the season, he got shot. And and that was because there was a guy that pulled up in a car. It was a drive-by shooting, and he spotted it. Olivia had her back turned toward it. Basically, he pushed her out the way. He took the bullet for her, which that is the exact opposite of toxic. Um, I think if their foundation was truly toxic, I don't think taking a bullet for someone is what toxic people would do. I think it would probably be the opposite. Um, I could argue that it would be the opposite. But yeah, so he ends up, you know, taking a bullet for her. Boom. So he was like, I don't know if it was the night I got shot or this, that, or the third, but nevertheless, I know that I love you. And she was like, Spencer, we can't. What about Asher? And he was like, there's a reason why you're here, this, that, and the third. And she shakes her head, grabs her stuff, says, I'm sorry, and leaves, basically. So not only did she cause harm to her relationship, but she also caused harm to Spencer because he just expressed how he felt to about her. He just expressed how he felt about her, and she turned him down because how it was before, Olivia liked Spencer, but Spencer liked Layla. Now it's Spencer likes Olivia and Layla likes him. So it's like a love triangle going on. And that's why I was trying to like explain to her that it's not even the fact that like, Layla has no involvement. I think she's like one of the main reasons why they were in the position that they were. I feel like if she never interfered in the beginning, I mean, obviously the whole point of it was to add more mess to the show. But if Layla never interfered in the beginning, they would have been together already. Like I'm sure they would have already been a couple. Like I don't think it would have got dragged out or all this stuff would have happened. So furthermore, after that's over, Layla comes in. Spencer doesn't tell Layla about what just happened 5 minutes ago. They end up hooking up. They get back together. So boom. Fast forward, they're back at home. Everyone's back at home. Spencer and Olivia haven't seen each other since that happened, since Vegas. So she wanted to leave Summer in the past because she know what happened. And the next day, and this isn't shown until later on, but the next day after she left Spencer, she went to Asher because Asher went to Mexico with his mom because him and his mom recently reconnected. She, Ron, what's up? What's good with you? But Spencer, I'm at fuck. Olivia goes to Mexico to surprise Asher, and Asher basically is with this girl named Vanessa, and he is cheating on Olivia. And so basically they cheated on each other unintentionally, like without knowing the other cheated on the other, but they cheated on each other. And Olivia was heartbroken about it. She wanted to leave past Summer in the past. Basically, Asher comes out saying that like this summer meant something to him. It changed him as a person, and Olivia was arguing that it changed. It changed. I mean, Vanessa helped him change as a person, basically, which I don't think was true. I think he just was realizing a lot of things about himself, and him experiencing that time with Vanessa may have helped, but I don't think she's the reason why he changed, if that makes sense. But yeah, the whole point of why she was trying to avoid it was because she didn't want to talk about how she basically betrayed her best friend and her boyfriend by making out with the guy, flying to Vegas, making out with the guy, and then him expressing how he feels just to turn her down, which is all a love triangle and mess. That's pure mess. That's why like I mean, in a way, like I said, you can try to argue technicalities of toxicity, but it's like even still that doesn't speak to their character. That's what people in high school do. They're naturally in mess. That's some even though it's some messy ish to do and it's messed up and it's harmful and it hurt. That's what people in high school do because in the show they're technically in high school. So that's what people in high school do. They do messy shit and they are inconsiderate of other people's feelings. There's other words to be used. I don't think toxic is the right one. Inconsiderate, disrespectful, messy, and there may be a few more, but I don't think toxic is like the umbrella of all those words because I think toxic kind of is deeper than that, and like I think it probably would have been more toxic if like I don't know, maybe they got caught and or or like Spencer said all those things about Olivia while him and Layla were together and Layla walks in on it. Maybe that can make it toxic and he like it tells Layla like I don't want to be with you. I want to be with Olivia. Like that's still messy, but I feel like that kind of leans towards toxic than what it was that actually happened. So I think there's ways that the scene could have been manipulated and twisted for it to look or appear as toxic. But I don't think it was toxic at all. I think it was more on the messy side. And what? So basically after cuz Layla found out, right? So I say maybe in episode 16 or 17. No, it was 19. It was 19 episodes. In about like four, either in between 13 and 15, somewhere within those few episodes, Layla pulls up to Spencer's house and she confronts him. She said what really happened in Vegas. This is when the scene. Oh wait, no, I'm lying. This is earlier than that because the scene from what actually happened in Vegas is shown in season 3, which is this, where basically, uh they end up, talking to each other and um wait, hold on. Basically, yeah, Layla pulls up to Spencer's house, asks him what happens. Then the cutscene switches to Vegas that past summer, and it shows what happened. So she basically expresses how he betrayed her because they got back together that same trip. So he basically betrayed Olivia. I mean Layla from for even though they weren't technically together when it happened. She still felt betrayal from there. And Olivia betrayed her by making out with the guy that she knew she liked. Which in a way I can't even be. too mad that Olivia did that because that's literally what Layla did to her throughout the entire beginning of the series. But that's neither here nor there, right? I'm like, okay, that's yeah. I mean, I can't really, you can't. It's not much you can really say to that, like that in a way. It's petty payback. It's petty payback. Right, right. That's what it looks like to me. But that's why I can't argue that's why I just don't fully agree that that's toxic. And even still, I would just say that that's just pure teenage 101. That's teenage 101. Like that's teenage 101. That's what people in high school do. Yeah, so basically the next episode afterwards, um Olivia basically goes missing. Not goes missing, but she like runs away in a way. And she's like very she's scared to go home and confront her parents, this, that, and the third. So the next episode, she sees Layla at the store and she goes in and she takes a sip of her drink because she was drinking, and her and Layla go talk. So episode 7 was when Layla confronted Spencer and found out that they betrayed each other and everything happened. Mm. And if you want to talk about toxic, now that I'm thinking about it, right? In this scene, right? Olivia and Layla have a conversation. This is why I say Layla plays a role in this more than I think she realizes, because she says, right? Um, she says like, uh, she's had enough confrontations for one day. And basically, uh, hold on, let me listen to it. She, she says she understands why you're upset and she didn't do anything. She says Spencer told me he loves me. She didn't tell him to say that. And then she said lying to her for months while Spencer made a fool of me. Uh, what was that? She said Olivia says Spencer genuinely cares about her, but genuinely cares for Layla, but loves Olivia. She said Layla says she refused to be a cliche fighting over a boy. So this is when the turn the turn kind of happens in the conversation, right? It hits Olivia. She said it's not like him and Spencer were dating. Layla's mad. She's like, "You want to argue technicalities?" Then she proceeds to say it's not about Spencer or Asher or any of her other exes. It's about loyalty. Remember that word, right? Keep in mind, this is the same person that was interfering with any and every chance of Olivia even dating Spencer in the first place in the beginning of the show. This was 2 seasons ago when she literally was interfering with any chance that Olivia had. And I think she's gonna get to that, and she's gonna get to that in this scene. She said that Olivia sucks as a friend. She said Layla wouldn't know loyalty if it had a price tag. She said you don't value anyone or anything unless it gets in the way of you want. She said it's not true. Yeah, but this is what I just said. She said when Spencer first got there, she intentionally got him drunk and almost ruined his football dreams. Then she tried to hook both of them up and then realized that she wanted them, and then just wanted him for herself. And fuck, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, she basically was trying to help them get together, but then realized that she wanted him for herself, and ended up, like despite all of that, Olivia was still there when she was battling her depression and stuff. So I feel like give or take, what Olivia did was fair game, and I think the toxicity isn't between Spencer and Olivia. I think it's between Layla and Olivia more than anything, because that I mean, yeah, I think that was more so what that's I think that was more so where the problem lied. Layla knew how Olivia felt about Spencer. Layla knew how, she knew that she was intentionally, getting him wasted and trying to ruin any chance he had at, you know, being, living out his dreams and goals that he had. So there was a lot of parts that Layla played, which is why her name just can't be exiled from this conversation. If we're talking about the root and the core of their, their relationship before they were officially a couple, Layla plays a bigger, more toxic role than either one of them because of all the things that she did. But I guess I'm just wrong. I don't know. I guess. And she ended up going to sleep on me. So like that there's that.
Unlike you, who, if I remember correctly, told me that you didn't even realize that my addiction was that bad after I got back from rehab last year. I mean, what kind of friend is that?
And she also called out Layla for realizing that Olivia's addiction after she got back from rehab last year, well, in the show, wasn't she didn't realize it was as bad as it was. So basically she's showing that Layla's character is no better, and that the odds are they're it is balanced now, basically. They both done their fair share of dirt. I'll put it that way. But I don't think the toxicity is between Spencer and Olivia. I think it was between Layla and Spencer, because there's no toxicity. There's no toxicity between them when there's literally someone that's interfering, and when there wasn't, look what happened. They ended up being together. They were together all throughout Spencer's first year of college, up until he realized that he was damning her. The craziest part is, like, there's so much more to discuss about their relationship when it actually started versus their foundation, because like there's nothing else that makes sense that to like that points to them being quote toxic. Like that's why her saying that just doesn't make sense to me, and it like kills me because it's like I really do admire their relationship a lot, and like even though a lot of the things to even though to get to the point that they got to wasn't like perfect, like it still ended up working out in their favor and stuff like that. Like that's why I value the relationship. I do.
No tomatoes. I got you.
So forget hashtag Tamika Pratt. Forget hashtag I am Tamika. Forget the labels. We need the whole picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yo, it was good. Yep, it was episode 18, season 3. Yeah, sure, that's toxic. Totally. Totally. She's a recovering addict, and instead of saying no, I want to wait until you recover. I think we can put your recovery first, and it's about time we had our shot at happiness. But that's toxic. Sure, sure, sure. Totally, totally toxic. Totally toxic. Well, um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and might as well conclude here. You know, yeah, because it's not really much more I can say. I think my point is proven, and there's no one to debate because yeah, yeah, but there's no one to debate anymore. I think my point is proven. I don't think Spencer and Olivia's relationship was toxic at all. I don't think their upbringing was toxic. I think there was just a person interfering with the growth and the foundation of their relationship. And I think that's what added that delay to them actually being together. But once they got past that, they were able to have their shot at happiness. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna conclude the stream here. And yeah, this was my second stream within the last what like couple of days on my new series that I'm trying or that I've started called Let's Talk About It. Because let's talk about it, like if you want to have real conversations, about certain topics, we can talk about it. And this is one of those topics that you can ask me on a wake up while I'm dead tired. It don't even matter because when it comes to Spencer and Olivia, I got my topic. I got my answers and I got my responses and whatnot. So like, yeah, this was definitely fun. Um, I will say, I think I think her mentality going into this was just as an outsider looking in and not fully understanding everything that's happening because the whole scene when Olivia drove them drunk and then like tried to manipulate Spencer to lie to the cops, stuff like that, I can understand where the toxic trait comes into play. I could understand that, but I personally feel like that doesn't mean that their relationship was toxic. Just because they had toxic moments before they were together doesn't mean that their relationship was toxic. And I still don't think their relationship was toxic even when it happened because their whole reasoning for breaking up was Spencer ended things with Olivia because he felt like her light dimmed when he was around, basically meaning that she was less of herself when he was around her. And that was just based on his personal feelings and emotions about the things that were happening within their relationship. He felt like she was naturally less of herself when he was around her. So he was putting her first and, breaking away from that. That way she can shine. That was the whole point of what he said. Because a lot of people they mistook that as something else, and I think that's probably why she feels the way she does. But just because the before they got together may have been rocky and had its toxic moments, doesn't mean that their relationship was toxic and either one of them are bad people or both are bad people. Because as you can tell, their characters become more mature throughout the series, throughout the show, because their characters are getting older. You know, they started off in high school as juniors and then seniors, and in season 4 through season 4 and 5, Spencer's in college. Well, really 4, 5, and 6, Spencer's in college. Their maturity level in the show, their character's maturity level is higher now. So that's why I think with due time, I think that's why the when developing the show and making the show, there was certain toxic traits like that, like the whole drinking and driving thing and trying to get him to lie to the cops, which is a crime, and I do not recommend. But I think stuff like that was coming into play for the sake of their characters. I don't think that means that they're toxic as individuals. That's just what the developers were doing. I mean, the writers were doing for their like the characters that were being played. But I can go on a yap session all night about them two and their entire relationship, which I probably should do a stream just talking about it, because I don't even have to pull up clips or receipts to back up what I'm saying. I just have them basic facts and that basic knowledge about this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate you guys for watching. Um, and we'll be back to talk about something soon, hopefully. And yeah.